and you start to see how better you feel.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, absolutely. And so, to add on to that challenge, I would make it as specific as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And I would make it something
Definitely.
that scares you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be hard to do,
Of course.
but you're confident that you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, just to add to that accountability side, I think that accountability is it's such a unique thing because you want to push them, but you want to support them, and you don't want to be a dick or an asshole, but you want to make sure that you're holding them accountable.
Right.
So the best accountability,
hard balance to reach.
It
Yes,
is. It is. And I mean, just in my personal experience, the best accountability partners that I've had aren't the people I'm closest to.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, to add on to that challenge, I would pick somebody that you don't get hurt or you don't get
just
your
like
pride doesn't get in the way.
Person at the gym
I mean,
or
if you pick your wife or if you pick your family, or
They're too sensitive to your feelings.
Yeah.
They're too sensitive
to your feelings. And then if they're not and they say something, then you take offense.
Yeah. It's easier if
you
it's
get
somebody
upset.
that's just like, hey, I'm going to tell you raw. I'm going to tell you how it is. This is what it is. You said you were going to do this and you didn't.
Right. Right.
So let's tighten that belt
Right.
up and get back to work.
Right. And I think that's why it's the coach role plays the best role as an accountability partner is because it's not only, hey, you told me you were going to do this. It's like, hey, we know exactly where we're trying to get. We know what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
They know the entire process. They know what your process is going to look like to get there. And I mean, that's why
awesome.
I feel like coach is just a way better way to have an accountability partner than just like, hey, babe, can you make sure I drink a gallon of water every day? By day 3 or 4, her asking right before you go to bed, hey, did you drink your gallon of water? You're going to start snapping at her.
Yeah, you're going to be bugged.
Yeah, you're going to start, no, I didn't, okay? Like, get off my back.
I
Which,
can do whatever I want. Gosh.
which is all part of the process, is just being humbled enough to accept the criticism and move forward, right? But it doesn't help to have it be somebody in your close personal life.
Agreed.
Yeah. So we want to find out from you who you look to gain that accountability, or who you look to motivate you on your toughest days. It could be anyone, like John or podcast or music artist, anything like that you do.
Any type of mentors that you look up to, anybody that can do that for you.
Yeah.
Oh man, tough question. Well, I'm actually, it's perfect timing because I'm actually looking for a new fitness coach, John. So I mean, I'm committing.
Yeah. He said that like a week ago, and then he didn't show up.
I did.
Whoa.
I did say that a week ago.
1 week's
and I
gone
did,
by.
so- but it was only 1 week ago.
Yeah.
Now I'm
That's
committing
okay.
again.
He's going to do it.
It wasn't.
Like you said, he's showing up. I'm sure he's got a ton
That's
of-
why I need an accountability. That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
And this is why I love, John has always been that for me in a good way and with my health. So it's going to be good to have that again. Honestly, I love The Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
listening
awesome.
to him. He motivates you, gives you,
Well,
inspires
it's just like his, what he posts. One, I love his business sense because I don't think that there's probably a couple others, but there's a very few select Hollywood people that have taken and actually have taken advantage of what's been laid in front of them. As far as their influence, as far as
and turning it into something else other than just being an actor, or other than just
right. I mean, and I feel like The Rock's progress went from, he was an actor, and you saw him in almost every movie for a couple of years there. This was 4 or 5 years ago. You saw him in almost every movie
action movie.
Yeah, The Rock was there. And then that year, highest paid actor in the world. And then shortly after that, he starts rolling with these different business ideas that
starts making his own liquor.
Starts making his own freaking tequila. And now it's energy drinks. And it's producing his own movies.
That's awesome.
I mean, this guy has taken control of his destiny.
Yeah.
And he's worked for every bit of it, right? But just what he shares and inspires, and the positivity that he has while he's doing it.
You like that?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it motivates me, right? Because when I'm just on my phone, when I shouldn't be at 12:30 at night, right before I go to sleep, and I'm just scrolling through Instagram, and his feed pops up, and he's talking about his 1 a.m. workout, and that, you had a shitty day, you had a long day, but what is it? You got to keep grinding, you got to keep going, you got to keep moving. I mean, that's like, gosh damn it, yeah, you're right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just it's a virtual accountability partner without ever speaking with him.
Yeah.
Right,
Sure.
because when I see that,
and that's the beauty about social media these days. Like, where else could you get that kind of accountability from famous people or anyone? Like, social media is a blessing in that aspect.
Yeah, I used to have to buy CDs.
Yeah.
Book on tape, right?
yeah,
What's a CD?
to get that content, right? What's a CD?
What's a tape? Dude, I was starting this kind of stuff even when there were tapes, you guys, seriously. And I'm not that old. It's just I started changing my mind. I started changing my mind like a long time ago. And yeah, I got my stuff. There wasn't YouTube. There wasn't anything like that. It was like I had to get them from books. I had to get that kind of stuff from CDs and all that. All the mentors and all that kind of stuff that I listened to.
Right.
They were my accountability people. I could put it right into the car, right? Put in that disc and listen to it and be like, yeah, okay, I'm going to do this. And they're motivating me.
Tape deck.
Put it in the tape deck, that 8-track. Just kidding.
Well, and to be completely honest, I feel like that just speaks volumes as to somebody's commitment to grow.
Yeah.
Because when content was hard to come by,
The more you had to search it out.
Oh, I sought it out, man.
The more
and I
you
paid
had
for
to,
it. I did,
The more effort you had to put into getting that type of content, I think speaks volumes to the level of discipline you have, because people don't even put forth that much now. And
it's right in their face.
Right everywhere.
Dude,
constantly.
it's in their face.
Everywhere. And I think that's part of the problem with people now, is that because it's so easy to get to, we don't feel like we have to work to get that valuable information, because it's literally at our fingertips whenever we want it, for free most of the time.
Most of the time it is.
And so I think that just speaks volumes to people's discipline and ability or passion to improve themselves, when it actually requires a lot more to get that content, to get that learning experience, whereas versus now, it's constantly at our fingertips.
Okay.
We take advantage of it, or we take it for granted, is what I was trying to say.
Okay, so final question. What do you feel like you need to do every day? Like, what is something you can't go a day without?
Oh man, is this like something I'm currently doing every day, or something that I think would benefit me the most?
Oh, okay, but both. Let's do both.
Yeah,
Let's do both, because there are things where you're like, man, I should be doing that every day.
They might be a little bit different.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't shower every day, so it can't be that.
Well, that's not important. It's important. Don't get me wrong, guys, but, oh man, I would say what I do currently every day that kind of just grounds me, I think, is it's never at a specific time during the day. It's never for a specific allotted amount of time either. But I feel like every day I am present at least once. And so what I mean by that is, whether I'm sitting there, whatever I'm doing, and it's better to have a habit of it, right? Because then you're able to grow with that stronger. But for me, it's just been a conscious effort when it pops into my mind, just to be present. Now, it doesn't, sometimes it lasts, 5 seconds. Sometimes it lasts 10 minutes. Sometimes it's different, right? And like I said, it's never at the same time every day.
Sure.
It's just whenever that thought pops into my mind.
Like, I need to be present right now. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something that I do every day that I think it just grounds me.
Okay.
Right? Just keeps keeps me focused. Now's the fun part, right, of what I should be doing.
Yeah. That would better you in some way.
Yeah.
Right?
So I've got these, I feel like everyone that thinks about or wants to improve themselves has ways that they think that has things that they think that they should be doing. Right? Everyone has things that's like, oh, I should be doing this. Oh, I should be doing this. And I mean, I would say I'm like the epitome of your own.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of things that I feel like I should be doing that I'm not at the moment, that I want to be.
Yeah.
Right. And that's part of the journey is figuring out how to get that self-discipline to do it, to do those things. But I would say all of those things that I feel like I should be doing can be brought down and summarized into a morning.
Okay. Yeah.
I would say everything on my mind, or at least currently of what I want to get better at, I could do in a morning and a night routine.
Because that would create a habit. The consistency. What would that look like? What would, like, just really quickly, like a morning and night routine, what would that look like for you?
So morning, I've been learning a lot about the 5 a.m. club.
Yeah.
Which is, 20 minutes working out, 20 minutes of, I think the second 20 minute, like, reading, it's learning, it's mental stimulation.
That's so important.
Yeah. And then the third 20 minutes is
soaking in a cold
reflection.
ice.
Yes. Or freaking ice bath, right? So for me, I think that at the moment I've been trying to do it, and I commit to doing it multiple times. It's just,
it's
I'm weak.
Finding that consistency.
Finding that consistency and starting.
Yeah.
Getting the initial jump going, right? But so I think as a morning routine, I love that, and I love the idea of making your bed first thing in the morning, right? Because you started off with a win.
Yeah,
right?
You do. It's so much nicer when you walk into your room and your bed's made.
Right, your bed's made.
Yeah. It feels nicer.
Isn't that crazy?
Everything went wrong in your day besides that, like, that you made your bed and
exactly.
Yep.
So that's part of the importance of a morning and a night routine, right? Because no matter what else happens throughout the day, what's keeping you grounded and keeping you progressing to where you want to be is your routines. Your morning and your night, because you can always do those.
Yeah.
So I would say, just to summarize that, right? Work out really quickly. Get a sweat going for 20 minutes. Read something, listen to a podcast for 20 minutes, and then
reflect on it.
Yeah. So you either write in a journal, or you meditate, or you do something that you're reflecting and you're calming yourself for 20 minutes, right? And then in the evening, I think it just comes to winding down and reflecting on the day, and then making sure you're set up for the next day.
Sure.
Honestly.
That's something that I kind of struggle with at times, like a good nighttime routine. Like, I don't know when to turn everything off. Like, and that's one of the most important things to getting the circadian rhythm.
For your sleep.
Yeah. So,
well, people don't value their sleep enough.
I'll tell you what, there are so all humans have a circadian rhythm that they kind of go by, and that actually is in harmony with the earth. Okay. So depending on where you live, right? Because it's going to be different for somebody in Australia than it would be for us, like now, as of right now. But if we really do have a round Earth, which I believe we do, there's some controversy out there.
I take you as a flat earther,
John. But anyways, the sun, everything works in harmony here. So if you can get to bed by about 10, right, and wake up by 6, you'll hit 3 of those rhythms within that night.
Yeah.
Okay, first one starting around 11. Okay, 11 to 1 to 2-ish, and then you have a 3 to 4-ish, and then up to 6. Yeah. So you have like these rhythms that your body will get the best recovery. Yeah. It'll get the best healing, all that kind of stuff. And that's
interesting because I've found, like, if I go to bed by 10 o'clock, I feel so much better. And, like, that makes me wake up at 6.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like,
it's easier to get up there.
I have no other choice but to wake up at 6 because I can either lay in bed and not sleeping, or I can just wake up.
So most people, it takes about an hour for their brain to wind down.
Yeah.
So that would mean, like, for you, turn off your electronics an hour before that. So 9 o'clock, everything's off. I'm not looking at anything. I'm winding down. I may do some meditation, some reflection, some prayer, some affirmations, some things to center myself before I go to sleep.
Absolutely.
So then that's what's on your mind. That's what you're thinking about before you go to sleep.
Right.
Which will influence how well you recover throughout the night.
Right. No, absolutely. And I think to add to that, I think what happens is as you create a habit of those affirmations and of winding down and those prayer, whatever it is, right? I think you're training your subconscious to think those things while you're sleeping.
Oh, yeah.
And
totally.
And not just while you're sleeping, when you're awake the next day. I mean, the more that you can affirm your mind and your consciousness is,
we should have a whole podcast on this subject because
honestly,
I love this kind of
stuff.
I
wear a Fitbit and it tracks my sleep for me.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, like how much better the result